It's Mr. Cleveland back at it. It's Mr. Cleveland, by the way. Thank you. The most wanted shipwreck. I love videos like these. It's a side of history that we need to know. We need to know what's going on out here in the world. I like looking at finding out about random shit in the world. This is the curious side of my brain that I also love. That, hey, let's get into it. The most wanted shipwrecks.
It's a cold, stormy night.
Primal Space. Shout out Primal Space.
Just off the coast of Florida in 1622.
Florida Keys,
A Spanish
1622.
cargo ship full of gold and silver is desperately trying to make its way back to Spain. But as it passes through the Straits of Florida, it sails directly into a hurricane. Its masts are torn apart, its rudder gets ripped off by the waves, and within minutes, the Atocha is brought down. According to records, at least $500 million worth of treasure went down that night, and its location eventually became a complete mystery. But more than 3 centuries
I hear Florida, I'm thinking like Bermuda Triangle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, right?
after sitting at the bottom of the ocean, the mother lode. But more than 3 centuries later, after sitting at the bottom of the ocean, the mother lode of all treasure was finally discovered, and it proved to be more valuable than ever imagined. We modeled the entire thing to show you how one man and his team of DIY treasure hunters spent decades searching.
Ain't like the Bermuda Triangle like in that Florida, Cuba, with Jamaica area maybe. I think it's in that don't planes and shit be getting lost up in there. But yeah, I like stuff like this is just interesting. It's crazy because now it's more valuable. It's crazy. Like maybe I need to go spend my time finding like rare things so I get paid a shit ton of money for it.
For the ship, and how their genius engineering and an old document eventually led them to the most valuable shipwreck in history. When the Atocha went down that fateful evening, it ended up on a shallow reef in the Florida Keys, a 200-mile stretch of tiny islands. At the time, the location of the ship was known, but just a few weeks later, a second hurricane ripped the ship apart, leaving a trail of debris across the ocean floor. The location of the Atocha seemed to be lost forever, but records of its treasure were never forgotten. According to its cargo manifest, it was holding 150 gold bars, 1,000 silver bars, and more than 50 chests full of coins. All in all, the treasure would be worth at least $500 million today. All someone had to do was find it. That's where American treasure hunter Mel Fisher came in. He had spent his entire life diving, and along with his wife, ran a diving school in California, teaching more than 60,000 people how to dive. With the allure of the Atocha sitting in the Florida Keys, Mel and his family moved across the country in search for its treasure. With little more than a boat and some metal detectors, they began their search in an area called the Matecumbe Keys, which had been mentioned in several documents. But after a year of searching and more than 100,000 miles covered, they hadn't found a single thing. To many, finding the Atocha in this vast expanse of ocean was an impossible task. But Mel had a secret weapon, historian Eugene Lyon. In order to learn more about where the Atocha sank, he went to the Spanish archives in Seville and came across this document. Dated just 4 years after the ship went down, it mentioned that a search had taken place in an area called the Marquesas Keys, which was more than 100 miles from where Mel was searching. Mel and his crew instantly moved their boat and started searching in this new location. But the divers were now searching in deeper water, and they had one huge problem: visibility. Although the water was clear on the surface, at the bottom, the divers could barely see their own hands.
Like murky. I'd be scared. I ain't gonna lie. Like, ain't there's like sharks in the water and all that. These different animals. It's not even just sharks. Like people think of sharks when they think of sharks, whales, stuff like it's like the ocean is one of the most unexplored places on the fucking planet. So like in general, like it's a lot more than just sharks and whales down there. It's a lot, and then you talking about waters you can't even see through. Fuck no, we good on that.
And so Mel came up
Crazy.
with a genius yet simple solution. He attached two.
But the thing is about the ocean, it's unexplored, but it's one of the places that don't bother you as much. You could be out there in a random part of the water and nothing will happen unless a storm comes. But it just in general, typically nothing really will happen. because like the ocean just is peace. I don't know, like it's scary. I'd be scared. I'm scared to go in the car. I don't think I could do it, yo. I don't think I could. Like just being around number one, we don't see no land, nowhere, just straight. Oh, and then when it gets dark, it gets dark. Like you can't see shit. If they was called, like, you couldn't see shit. That's crazy. That's scary. Right now as we speaking at 11:44 at night, I guarantee you, water you can't see nothing. It's crazy.
Large tubes to his boat that could be lowered down in front of the propellers. These would redirect the clear water from the surface and shoot it down to the bottom where the divers were searching. Not only did this clear up the muddy waters perfectly, it had the added benefit of digging a big hole and revealing whatever was buried underneath the sand.
That's hard that they did that. Hold on, let me go back and see what they did, basically.
To his boat that could be lowered down in solution. He attached 2 large tubes to his boat that could be lowered down in front of the propellers. These would redirect the clear water from the surface and shoot it down to the bottom where the divers were searching.
That's crazy.
Not only did this clear up the muddy waters perfectly,
that's like
it had the added
high
benefit
level thinking.
of digging a big hole and revealing whatever was buried underneath the sand. Then one day,
but wasn't like the force kind of like push them out the way, right?
In 1971, the sand cleared and revealed an enormous anchor. Although it wasn't a piece of treasure, it was their first clue that perhaps the real thing wasn't far away. More artifacts started to show up, like cups, swords, cannonballs, and iron nails used to hold the ship together. To keep track of everything, they started building a map of circles, showing where each piece of treasure had been found. After a while, a clear line started to appear on the map, and they came to the conclusion that the Atocha's mother lode must lie somewhere along this line. Then, while searching near the bottom of the line, a diver came across something really special, an early version of the Opera web browser. Just kidding. Opera now presents...
This nigga, he dope at these little fit the ads to there and shit. God damn. God damn.
Description and start experiencing the next generation of browsing. In order to find the Atocha, the crew were following a trail of artifacts that seemed to be leading them to the mother lode of all treasure. But after 2 years of searching the line, the crew had failed to make any valuable discoveries. Mel was running out of money fast, and if he didn't find some treasure soon, he'd have no way of funding the search. But then, in 1973, just a few hundred feet away from the anchor, the crew came across a stash of silver coins and 3 huge silver bars. This find alone was worth well over $100,000, but it wasn't clear if it was from the Atocha or its sister ship, which had also gone down that night. And so, they went...
So did all the people like die on the ship, or they just kind of like got away? What y'all think? Because you know, like they had small boats on there. What y'all think happened? That's great. I mean, 100,000. Damn.
Back to the ship's cargo manifest. Every single piece of gold and silver was...
But even the paper, though, it's like how the ink didn't, like, dissolve by now. It's like, how could you even read this and understand what they saying? You know what I'm saying? Because cursive, this used to be the way of writing. Like, this is the only way you could write.
This document, along with their exact weight and serial number. By comparing the engravings on the silver bars to the document, they confirmed that the treasure trail they were following really was from the Atocha. The crew began systematically cleaning the coins using electrolysis and selling them off to make money. Mel and his crew were back in business. With this influx of cash, the crew set out to find more treasure, armed with new sonar detecting technology. But just as they were starting to gain traction, the state of Florida began claiming ownership of all the treasure being found.
Oh, that's lame. Alright. Social work. That's weak. That's weak as fuck, though. That's so weak. I do not like when states do that. I don't like when any, like, that's the only so bad side of being like a big dog. Like, you know, you could just step in and take it. That's fucked up. Florida probably wasn't even thinking about that shit at all. I guarantee they was not thinking about none of that. Somebody decided, hey, let me go find this treasure. They did. Oh, treasure? Hold on. 500 mil? Oh, yeah, you can break. Oh, no, state? Oh, yeah, that's me. Yep, we want it. Hey, lawmakers, come on. Make sure they, bring it through. Yep, all of it. All of it's ours. It's ours, sir. So you can search, get the rest of that. Make sure we get it. That's lame. I ain't gonna lie. That's crazy.
And so, Mel started fighting back.
Oh,
In
okay.
the meantime, the crew continued finding more objects on the line. A major find
Fuck it. I would just left it alone. Now y'all go find it. How about that? Y'all go figure it out.
being 9 bronze cannons with Atocha markings engraved into their barrels. But just a day after finding these cannons, one of their boats capsized during the night, killing
Damn.
3 of the crew,
Oh,
including
dang, man. Dang.
Mel's son.
God to all the people that died doing this in general. Even the shipwreck too. The first one that started it. You know?
3 years went by, and the crew continued looking without finding any new clues. The line had run dry. Throughout the search, Mel had often mentioned a mysterious document he had read, written by one of the Atocha survivors. According to the document, the survivor had helped an admiral smuggle 70 pounds of the world's finest Colombian emeralds onto the ship. It was never clear where Mel had read this, but he was absolutely sure that there was more to the Atocha's treasure than just gold and silver. Meanwhile, after 8 years of legal battles, Mel won against the government and was
Let's go! Let's go, Mel. Let's go. Let's go, Mel. Let's go. Hold on. What year this was in? Cause I ain't gonna lie. Like, no offense, but like 19 something. If we go back far enough, shit, we probably would have even been cool. You know what I'm saying? But like, far as just beating the government, yeah, let's go. Let's go. So it's possible.
finally granted the right to 100% of the treasure. But by the end of the 70s, Mel had spent over $6 million looking for the Atocha, and the elusive treasure still hadn't showed up. Every little object along the way had teased the crew, and it still seemed like the treasure had to be lying somewhere along the line. But all that was about to change. In 1983, while on their way out to the line, the crew's magnetometer started lighting up. Divers went down to check, and they came across several metallic objects in a location southeast of the line. By plotting these on the map, a new line started to branch off from the original one. They knew that the ship was ripped apart a month after it sank, so it was possible that the debris was carried on a different path.
Yeah.
They followed this new line for a couple of years, and it continued to reveal little bits of treasure. Then, on the 20th of July, 1985, exactly 10 years after the tragic death of the 3 crew members, a large but faint object showed up on their sonar scanner. 2 divers immediately entered the water and began searching for it. On a hunch, Greg Wareham decided to wander off about 100 yards to the east, and there it was. Sitting in front of him was an 80-foot-long shipwreck with piles upon piles of silver bars sitting on top. Off to the side were several chests full of coins and gold bars.
I wonder what the green stuff was. Or like, what is that make it cost so much? Like, is
there was no
I may
doubt
say
that after
emeralds.
16 years of searching, Mel and his crew had finally found the motherlode. Amazingly, hidden within the wreck was a thumb-sized emerald worth over $800,000 alone.
Oh my god! Woo! What? Just give me 3. Let me find 3 of them, and I'm good. I ain't gotta be back here in a minute. Woo! Boy, how long? You talking? Look how many emeralds you could find one chest of that, and just go skip 800,000 one time. You chilling, you good. You ain't gotta work another day in your life. Each time your money roll, go get another emerald. Have another buyer. That's crazy. And you crack out, guarantee these diamonds probably didn't even cost that much back then. But now it's getting rarer and rarer. The prices spike
The
up.
wreckage, another one popped up. This time worth over $1 million. Eventually, more than 2,000 of the finest uncut emeralds were discovered, and Mel's story turned out to be true after all. And now, time for the Primal Space giveaway. The winner of the previous giveaway is... Thank you.
It's crazy. Woo. Someone should make a film about this guy's life journey towards the church. Sometimes the most gripping stories are not the fiction but facts. Being able to remain present for so many years through the heartbreak of losing someone dear, still fighting internal forces of failure. Just a while with a man. Thanks for you for this video. They did this. They did this for a couple years. The amount of urgency and energy he got had was incredible. 16 years of searching. Imagine if they male woke up when he's gonna find each other only to go to bed and wait the next day. Okay, some real dedication, man. $500 million worth of treasures. Truly a coliseum amount of money. Thanks for uploading. Seeing a man full of jar emeralds in his hand made my day. His intelligence, resilience was a little luck that made his dream come true. They had to come. He was dedicated. He was dedicated. That's why you see you gotta grind for what you want, dog. Don't give up. Just take time for real. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the vid. Like, subscribe, catch the next video. I'm going hopefully highlights.